All right, I'm doing this in the middle of the day for you guys. I'm still working right now, but I miss you. But what that means is I have to do this shit while there are cars and vehicles and stuff outside. I know you guys don't like it when I bring it up, but for me it's maddening. You know I'm sensitive to sounds, and all I can think of when the cars are outside is Rick Dalton going, "Get this shit box off my driveway." Not to sound like a dick. So, starting off, let's do a trivia question. What's the fifth element? What is the fifth element? I'll give you $30, all right? First person only, obviously. Read the rules. Second, no more ads in the videos. No more ads, all right? I was foolish on my part. Can't believe I did it. I don't really want to talk about it. You can now navigate freely around the channel without being woken up, awakened, whatever you want to call it, by nonsensical ads. Okay? I apologize, honestly. Second, that was actually third. What am I talking about? I feel guilty about something. It's been on my mind for like 3 weeks now, and I had a chance to actually talk with Scooter and Tom and Jake about it over at Sky High trampoline place. One of the most amazing places I've ever seen. I think it's Sky High. One of them burned down. One of them is still around. And Scooter and the nurse actually paid for an amazing party there for like 1 million people. So that was a really fun time. Thank you guys. While we were there, I was able to talk about this thing that was on my mind with Tom, Jake, and Scooter. And now I'm going to tell you guys what it was. A couple weeks back, I went on to someone's YouTube channel and I posted a comment that was trashing another YouTuber, or criticizing, I should say, for killing a coyote. Okay? And the reason this YouTuber killed the coyote was for killing this YouTuber's Pomeranian a year prior. Now, it probably wasn't the same coyote that killed the Pomeranian that he ended up killing, but he killed one nonetheless, probably, to try to ensure something like that didn't happen again, to send a message, or maybe just pure revenge because he was pissed that his Pomeranian was eaten, okay? Now, Tom, Scooter, myself, and Jake have all lived in these hills that this event actually took place, coincidentally, and it's a big expanse. It's the San Fernando Valley. You guys can look it up. But it's pretty much the same rule, and even beyond the San Fernando Valley, Hollywood Hills, there's coyotes everywhere. So the best way, there's 2 ways, movie examples, I suppose, that I could give you to illustrate what it's like living here with coyotes. First one, it's pretty much as close to The Village as you can get, but the monsters are real. The second, if you live in another city, and I have lived all throughout the U.S., okay, different cities, I consider, when I say living somewhere, I consider living somewhere a couple months minimum, and then moving on. For example, I lived in Miami, in South Beach, Miami, for 3 months. So I consider saying, yeah, I lived there for a little while. There's no coyotes in South Beach, Miami. There's no coyotes in Portland, Oregon. There's no coyotes a lot of places, okay? Someone fact check me on Portland. The reason I'm bringing this up is the thought process is different with certain things. For example, if you're walking down the street and you see a pet missing sign, what do you think? And I'm going to know, based off of this, roundabouts where you live, relative to coyotes. If you live in a place without coyotes, let's say Las Vegas, you walk around, you're walking down the strip, and you see a $500 reward to hand in a little dog, a pug, let's say a pug that went missing. You're going to be like, dude, let's find that pug. Dude, we're going to find that pug, and we're going to get the $500, and we're going to immediately go to the high roller room and put all $500 into the first triple diamond we see. That's what you think when you see a pet missing and reward sign somewhere. Now take that same pet reward sign and drop that off on Topanga and Ventura. in Woodland Hills or drop it off, say, Winnetka, Ventura. There's only one thing that anyone native to this area is actually thinking when they see that sign. I know what I'm going to put here. I'll explain it for the people that are listening and not seeing it. It's the Matrix meme, "No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead." The dog is gone. The coyote's got it. All right, the coyote's got the cat. The coyotes get whatever little animal it is. So that is the scene around here. Now, the issue at hand with this YouTube guy, he was in his very large house. And that is a factor, right? Depending on how far away you are from the animal. You gotta really put yourself in the position, or at least try to assume what it was like. Now, the Pomeranian was outside, obviously, and the guy knew somehow that there were coyotes out there. I believe he addressed that there were 2. I don't know how he knew there were 2, perhaps surveillance cameras, whatever it was. The Pomeranian started barking, alerting people that there were coyotes, I suppose, or even just bark is bigger than his bite and egging the coyote on, you know. And cutscene, a week later, this guy finds the Pomeranian's head. Very, very gruesome. And this guy exacted his revenge on the coyote. Over a year, actually, he was hunting it on his property, maybe in the surrounding properties. And to no avail, a year later, sees a coyote or a couple of coyotes walking up his street. He takes a crossbow and takes it out, okay? And then he stuffs it and puts it on his mantle. Now, around here, that's a wacky fucking story, all right? Don't get confused. That is all around, like, yeah, that's out of the ordinary. So I went on and I heard about this, and everyone was dogpiling this guy because, you know, he gloated about killing a coyote after he wasn't able to, I guess, save his dog. And my comment was, yeah, dude, you don't leave small dogs outside in the hills or they get jacked by coyotes. All you did was kill 2 dogs, right? And it was a very harsh comment, very non-empathetic in my opinion. I did think it was funny, and Jake was actually okay with it. But, you know, because fundamentally there's some truth to it. But really, it's a mean fucking thing for me to have said, considering this dude lost a dog. And yes, I did go through the pictures. This dude looked like he was really attached to this dog. In this YouTube climate, it's something you got to consider, like, are people doing it for clicks? Anyway, I felt horrible. Believe it or not, that's not the reason I deleted the comment. That's what I want to talk about now. We're going to talk about why I delete comments, ultimately, but not before we talk about some crazy coyote horror stories, all right? Number 1. Well, my nephew, the one that turned me on to, ultimately, Dead Mouse, I talked about it in one of the videos. He was stalked by a coyote. The coyote wanted to eat my nephew, okay? And this was in an area kind of close to the one we were talking about before, all right? So there's number 1. Coyote actually tried to eat my nephew. Number 2, one day, my stylist does my hair. She's responsible for my snow pants, my silk pants, everything. She's responsible for everything. And one of my best friends. She's walking around Walnut Acres one day, Woodland Hills, finds a little dog. Finds a little dog's head. The dog's name was Paco. She did not know this dog before, nor did she know the owner. I'm going to ask you, how did she know the dog's name was Paco? $25. How did she know the dog's name was Paco? $25 to Amazon. Okay. 3. I would be lying if I said myself, Jake, Scooter, Tom, and even, I think, Corey, weren't walking up and down the street when I was a teenager with baseball bats trying to defend off coyotes, right? I remember that, and I remember it specifically because I remember thinking, Jake is a big guy. Jake is a big guy. And I was thinking, Jake, why do you have that baseball bat? Throw it away. Use your arms. Your arms are better than the bat. If Jake stumbles into a coyote den, he just, Streets of Rage, Hagar, his special move where he does the helicopter with his arms, just spins around move. That's Jake's move. coyotes will go flying. Now, the fourth recollection, and by the way, there's countless coyote recollections. We hear them doing a head count with their howl every night in the hills. We hear cats being mauled to death. Like the sound of a coyote killing a cat or a small dog, believe it or not, is super commonplace around here. It's like part of the natural Foley art of the hills. It's the weirdest shit. This last instance, this alone was almost reason enough for me to delete the comment. Ladies and gentlemen, I show you my old apartment complex. Hey, Ronnie, are you listening? Let's do some geolocating here. Now, I want you guys to give me the name of the apartment complex. That's it. You're going to see the street name. I don't think I'm going to blur the street name, but this is my old apartment complex, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the hills over here. It is a popular complex, actually, and this is what I would drive up alongside to get into my complex in the evening. So we're just going to pretend like I'm driving up here, and pretend it's nighttime too, by the way. I couldn't get a nighttime view on it. And I'm going up here, and right about here, there was a lady crossing the street from left to right. I'm sorry, guys, you're going to need to look at the screen if you actually want to stay up with the conversation in this instance. And I'm sorry, the lady was not walking. She was running from the left side of the street to the right side of the street. A coyote was chasing her. In her hands was a Pomeranian. I shit you not. The lady was running away from a coyote that was trying to eat her Pomeranian right out of her arms. I slam on the gas, fortunately, and she is able to make it over to the parking lot. The coyote, fast as fuck, pulls a U-turn, and I start chasing after it, and I off-road and end up right about yay. At which point, the coyote hops this fence and starts chilling on the hill with about 10 other coyotes, just staring across the street at the apartment complex, right? Like just scouting out whatever animals they can find. And this is one of the things that bugs me, and I'll talk about this in detail. See these hills over here? They are rife with rabbits, snakes, tarantulas, birds, all sorts of creatures that these fucking coyotes can eat all day. I am very fortunate. I live in the sound of music, okay? I can go to my front door right now, open up the door, and show you 5 cottontail rabbits that I am perfectly fine with any coyote eating. That's nature out there, okay? My animals in here, off limits. And that's what really bothers me. The coyote knows this, and this is where people's argument actually falls apart. See, whenever people have this argument, I was listening literally to my 2 favorite people have this conversation on a YouTube show the other day. We'll give them the code names Neo and Jeff. They were talking about this instance, right, where you have this coyote and you have this person with a pet, and then it's up to the person to defend the pet from the coyote because the coyote's hungry, right? The coyote's got to eat. That's always the argument, and that's where it stops. And I used to agree with that. Like, that's it. It's up to the coyote. It's the coyote's land, right? Until I saw the coyote straight up trying to jack the Pomeranian from the person's arms. Maybe I want to eat my dog. Why are you assuming the coyote thinks I'm not going to eat my dog? Also, even if I'm not going to eat my dog and I just want it as a pet, who is the coyote to tell me I can't have my dog as a pet? I've lived with them all my fucking life, okay? They've never been cool. If they're on your street, they see you, they're like, oh, I better go. They run away. They never try to get you to pet them. They will not roll over. You can't rub their tummy. Fucking the guy that I commented on the channel, oh, he did such a masterful job at getting people to comment because he was showing all these pictures of coyote puppies, and they are so adorable, and he got me so good. So, yeah, I just gotta say, I am a total hypocrite in that instance. And not only, look, if we're calling a spade, I failed. I didn't even kill it. I would have if I actually ran it over because I wanted to prevent them from, killing any of the other animals. But yeah, if we're going tit for tat here, dude, that dude at least actually succeeded. He carried out his mission. I didn't. I fucking failed. The coyote lives. Okay. Having said that, we need the coyotes. I need them. All right. They do control the mice and the tarantulas, and I don't want those fuckers in my house. So I need the coyotes out there. I don't want people killing coyotes. There's no fucking revenge killing on someone else's behalf for a coyote. Stop it. That's ridiculous. In my opinion, if a coyote does jack one of your animals, it's between you and them. All right? Also, by the way, I believe it's legal. I think it is legal to do that on your own property. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Literally, coyote hunting in California is legal if it's on your own property and they're trying to jack your shit. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the coyote instance. All right? And I apologize for anyone else that may have seen that where I just came off like a total asshole. That, however, is not the reason I deleted the comment. If you guys kind of know me, if you go around if you follow my YouTube presence on other channels at all, or on Reddit, you'll find I delete 90% of the things that I put down if they are aggro, all right? One reason is I'm supposed to be an ambassador of sleep and relaxation. That's the point of this channel, right? So if I go around the internet trashing people, it's a shitty juxtaposition. It's contradictory. It's like all the Snow's tattoos. But if I'm nice and I spread joy and love, then we're talking. Then we got a game. So that's what I pretty much try to do. Now, the reason I delete my comments, this is going to get really dark. So buckle up, all right? It's obscure, but here we go. If I asked you guys to tell me about Frank Lloyd Wright, what would you tell me? Other than pass out immediately because you're bored. And for those of you that don't know who Frank Lloyd Wright is, I'll tell you he's a famed architect. For those of you that do know him, maybe you'll tell me he was one of the first guys to blend nature with a residence, right? You might tell me how a lot of his pieces, or I call them pieces, a lot of his homes, though very artistic and very cool looking, were structurally unsound, clunky, prone to terrible weather damage, and in some cases almost unlivable. Okay, you might tell me that. Would you, however, tell me that one day when Frank Lloyd Wright was in Chicago on business, back at his home called Taliesin, one of his famed homes, one of his workers set Taliesin ablaze, and during the fire locked all of the doors and proceeded to axe murder Frank Lloyd Wright's girlfriend, her kids, and several other of Frank Lloyd Wright's employees and friends? Would you have told me that? Did you know that? I found that out when I was studying my career. When I was studying aerospace in the university, I didn't have cable. There's this theme where I don't have cable throughout my life, so I wind up either renting DVDs from the library or just reading books. And in this case, I decided to get a DVD about Frank Lloyd Wright. I think it was the Ken Burns documentary, and that's when I found this out. And I was just really taken aback, like, how do people not know that about that dude? It's such a big deal in someone's life for something like that to happen. You can't tell me you ever shake that. You can't tell me you ever shake that. And as dark as it sounds, something like that makes it so I just don't want to trash people in the comments. Like, I never know what they're actually going through. You feel me? I know it's dark. It's a weird fucking thing to say. But ultimately, that is not only why I deleted that comment, the Coyote one. It's why I wind up deleting almost all my comments. Is Frank Lloyd Wright. Yeah. Okay, let's fucking get kind of happy. All right, let's move on. Let's get happy here. Also, I gotta go back to work, so I gotta wrap this up. Oh, by the way, the geolocating. I don't know if I told you guys, but where is the complex? What is the name of this complex, by the way, that I used to live at? That's what I want to know. What's the name of the apartment complex for the geolocating question? And yeah, I'll give you $30 for that one also, okay? Because this one should be pretty easy. I don't even think I'm going to be removing street names or anything like that. Okay, let's move on. Now, what we've got next is we've got Jake's Jack House. Stop. Listen. Jake wanted me to call this segment Jake's Jack House, and right out of the gate I was like, no, dude, are you a crazy person? Jack House. And then I started thinking, hold on, what is a jack house? And now I'm asking you, what is a jack house? What's a jack house? I'm going to tell you right now. The city of San Luis Obispo has a historic jack house and gardens. Now, I've never been there, and I don't know what the hell it's all about. But I can tell you what you do there is between you and them. Okay? So yeah, Jake gets a segment called Jake's Jack House. I see no problem with this. Let's see what he has for us. Pinky and the Brain, submitted by Hello There 1812. Pinky and the Brain were based on two producers at Warner Brothers Animation, and I can't get over how they really just drew these guys as mice without changing anything. Here's the guys. And here's Pinky and the Brain. You remember what they look like? That's very good. Good one. Good one. Okay. Woman sues concert venue after getting so drunk she blew up a home. Caused $15 million in damages, submitted by I Want It That Way. And the first commenter, Protocol 1008, says, what the fuck? Edit. I read the article. This woman is nuts. She went to a Marilyn Manson concert, got drunk, and apparently got kicked out of the concert. She then drove and crashed into a house, which caused an explosion that injured 7 people and destroyed 4 houses. She pled guilty and got sentenced to 3 years, but she's suing Ovation's Ontario Food Service because they kept serving her while she was drunk, and they didn't stop her from driving drunk when she got kicked out, so her and her dad figured they should be liable too. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, and then the person underneath said it is liable, she'll win because Ovation was responsible for the serving of it. Here's a picture. Check it out. Check out the destruction. Boom. Marilyn Manson at it again. Just kidding. What's next? Dirt Prince at Pants Leg says, a man in Whole Foods asked how I was doing, and I said, okay, how are you? And he said, it's beautiful in my soul today, and that's why I never go to Whole Foods. Okay, I want you guys to tell me if this one's bullshit or not. So this dude was streaming. Let's see, can I go back? Yeah, I can go back. This dude had his fish playing a game, and on the screen, he left, the game crashed, and then the fish, still playing the game, navigated to, I guess, a payment screen or some kind of a Wii U shop, if you will, or an equivalent, and purchased a shit ton of games. And he got the notifications on his phone as he was in the restroom that they were purchasing these games. It's hilarious if it's true. Here's a panel taken off of a door so you can check out the window working up and down with the regulator still working. It's pretty cool. Up and down, that's it. Just thought it would be cool for you to see the window, or Jake did at least. And this one's funny, submitted by Tanijru. How are you a priest and go to hell? I'd be embarrassed to admit that. So, a priest who temporarily died reveals he went to hell, and demons were singing Rihanna's song Umbrella as torture. Yeah, priest, don't admit that. How do you go back to your people and be like, listen, it's okay, I know what to do this time? I guess that's what you do, right? You gotta tell them, okay, there were some missteps. This is how we gotta pick it back up, okay? You don't want to go where I came from, trust me. And then you got these two chicks that are trying to find where to put the gasoline into a Tesla because they're drunk. That's what we're going to say, because they're drunk. This one got me from Ball is Life. That's 22-year-old assistant girls basketball coach Arlisha Boykins celebrating an and one during a JV basketball game earlier this month. She is now out of a job after being fired for impersonating a 13-year-old player that was out of town for a club basketball tournament. The team still lost, and the players and parents decided to end the team season. Unreal. And yeah, is this the last one Jake submitted? Yeah, it's just a ton of cute corgis in a row in the snow. One of them broke off. Oh my god. And then one of them's like, hey, are you okay? And then the other one is too. It's shit. I can watch this all day. It is the most adorable goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh no, come back. Where are the other ones? It looped, except I can still watch it. How do you have so many corgis? I want one. Hey, that one way. Oh my god, there's even more up in the front that I didn't see. Okay, this is a very, very good one. Okay, good. Good job, Jake. Now, Tom submitted things that were so goddamn funny. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through this without laughing. First of all, he just randomly sent me this fucking thing in IM, and it's Zach Braff from Scrubs sweating profusely when you have to take a massive shit and you're stuck in a meeting. Like, already I wanted to... Okay, so there's that. Then he sends me this from Fox News. An alligator is swimming in a Florida lake with a knife in its head. And then the person says, I'm pretty sure whoever pulls the knife from the gator's head gets to be the new king of Florida. The first comment, Excaligator. It's just cruising around with a knife in its head. This one got me. In 1985, a black bear found and ate $15 million worth of cocaine. There was probably about a 5-minute window before he died where he was the most dangerous apex predator on any fucking continent. Now, yes, this is Cocaine Bear. I don't know if this is the same Cocaine Bear they're basing the new movie off of, but what I can't get over is why is he wearing a hat? They blinged him out. They blinged Cocaine Bear out. Then there's this one. A Chinese guy's TikToks went viral and people realized he responds to all comments with the hearts over face emojis because he doesn't speak any English. So this person, Webby, leaves a comment saying, all my family burnt to death in a house fire with the hearts all over the face. And he responds with the hearts all over the faces. Look, this is, you want to be this guy though, okay? If you're talking about binary, good, bad, and you got to stick with one, you want to go for the good, okay? Could you imagine if you responded to everything with skull and crossbones? Ironically, in this case, it would have been more appropriate. All right, I'll give you that, fine. But in most cases, you want to have the hearts over the face emojis, and that would be more appropriate. So I like this guy a lot. This guy sees the light side. He's good. In 1998, Honduras built a bridge over the Choluteca River, but Hurricane Mitch rerouted the river. This is how God entertains himself, right? He's like, I'm just going to move this over here. Can't even with this. This one Tom randomly sent me. I was in bed and I get this as a text. Did you know if you hold an ermine up to your ear, you can hear what it's like to be attacked by an ermine? It's the ermine's face that does it. First of all, no, you've never heard of ermine. Neither did I. It's like a ferret, right? This thing looks like one of the things that the Beastmaster had that would steal the shit from people. Those were ferrets, right? But then I Googled it. I was like, what the fuck? What is an ermine? I think the guys did too. I think Scooter, someone actually did. And then you go, what's an ermine? And then it gets even more confusing. It goes, an ermine. Then you click on the Wikipedia and it goes, oh, you mean a stoat? And you're like, I mean, no, I guess. They're the same thing. What's a stoat? And it goes, well, let me tell you. It goes, the stoat, or Mustela arminia, also known as the Eurasian ermine or Beringian ermine, and ermine is a mustelid native to Eurasia and the northern portions of North America. Fine. None of that fucking meant anything to me. It's like the more they talk, the more you're like, I don't know what a mustelid is either. Or a stoat. Or an ermine. I just know when you put one up to your ear, you can hear what it's like to be attacked by one. And that got me. That got me really good. All right, we're going to end it on this one. It is from Terrible Maps. It's a tweet from Terrible Maps. And it's the map of all the countries where the Prime Minister shat themselves in a McDonald's. And it's only Australia. I want to laugh. It's not going to happen, though. I'm good, dude. I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to give people Amazon money, okay? I'm just going to leave the code. I'm not even going to, round them up and do a video on it. Next time, I'm just going to go around leaving random Amazon codes. And by the way, if I respond to you in a comment and I leave the Amazon code, it's not guaranteed that you're getting it. If someone swoops in and gets that code before you, what's fair is fair. That's part of the game, all right? I'll try to leave to like 5 or 6 of them, anywhere between $10 and $50. Let's cap it out at $50, all right? I'm not bonkers rich or anything. I have a normal job, all right? I'm just trying to help out. So let's do between $10 and $50. So yeah, kind of browse through the comments. If you want, leave comments in hopes that I'll actually drop one. And that's all. Let's talk in the comments. Oh my God, what am I talking about? There's 2 more things that I didn't even talk about. One of the things was for the Swindler. The Swindler, a couple videos back, asked me what the most difficult thing was I ever learned on guitar. And I was going to actually write I've been in process of writing a song. We'll get to actual music instruction soon. But in short, I hate to be an idiot about this, but it is true. The hardest thing that I learned on guitar, and the hardest thing anyone's going to learn on guitar, is anything that they're learning for the first time. Okay? Dude, I've been playing forever. If you're showing me some kind of a new sweep passage or a very difficult thing to play that my fingers are just not used to, I'm going to have to practice the shit out of that. Alright? Practice is a real thing. So everything is fucking hard. Everything is still hard for me until I drill it. Alright? Something that I think of very often is David Copperfield. When someone asked him how many times it takes to perfect a trick, he said something like 500 fucking times. All right, and I totally understand what that guy is talking about when it comes to very difficult passages in music, for example, on an instrument. Dude, I do not feel comfortable fluidly playing it unless I've played that thing hundreds of times in different ways, with different tones, with different dynamics, with different inflections, through different amps, perhaps. Or if it's just an acoustic with different timings. Everything is hard. That's what she said. Okay, and then second, what am I talking about? Lastly, Cherry asked about some fitness stuff. I absolutely want to get into some fitness with you guys. I'm not going to do any exercise routines yet. First, let's tackle weight. In order to do that, I want you guys to go ahead and just watch something for me. I'm going to give you guys homework. Watch the show Alone. Alone will take 10 contestants and drop them in the middle of nowhere, and they have to fend for themselves. Okay, and the last person there gets like $1 million or something like that. There's several seasons. It's one of my and Tom and my stylist's favorite shows. We watch it, and if there is a better show out there to show you the relationship between food consumption and energy expenditure and its effects on the human body, dude, if you show me one of those, I'll give you $20, but you're not going to. I noticed while I was watching this show, about a week into everyone being not deprived of food because they're able to hunt and forage and fish and get the food where they can. So rabbits, salmon, squirrels, birds, whatever they can actually get. And about 7 days in of them just eating this stuff and sleeping and drinking fresh water, I shit you not, these fucking people looked like they were right out of a Gucci catalog. They all looked like they could do runway work, like chiseled features. Now, I'm gonna slow myself down here because I do not want to instill this sense of, oh, I'm gonna be anorexic in people. No. Let's talk about the purpose, okay? That's number one. Watch Alone. Number two, what the fuck is the purpose of all of this? Why are you trying to get shredded? I know why I'm trying to get shredded. I'll tell you why I'm trying to get shredded. I want to be, this is weird because I think this is actually a book and I never realized it till now. I want to be fit for my whole life so I can do shit that I need to do. That's all, okay? All of this crap is for literal fitness, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of why. at my work. For those of you that don't know, I work right now in aerospace. I do really cool stuff in engineering. One of my colleagues is a very successful, very brilliant dude in his late 50s, and he doesn't need to work anymore. He does just because he loves it and he's great at it. And this guy owns a lot of land in India, and he was on business over there recently, and one of his properties, he didn't have the key to get in. And the only way to get in was a window on the second floor. So he got a ladder, he goes up there and opens the window, and didn't seem like he was in the worst shape. You know, upon looking at him, you wouldn't think he's in the worst shape. But anyway, he props himself up, he grabs the ledge of the window, and he begins to raise himself into the window, and then he realizes he can't do it. He couldn't raise himself into his own fucking house. He was locked out, and that was a wrap. He had to call someone else to go do it for him. I don't want to be that guy. I'm telling you right now, I can get in a window. One of my favorite exercises is pull-ups. I don't want to get into the exercising yet. What I want you guys to do, if anything, is to really understand the relationship between what you put in and the actual energy you expend over the day, and how you feel, and the amount of food that you actually need to carry out your daily tasks. It sounds mundane as fuck, but to make up for it, I'll go ahead and I'll toss up a picture of what's in my fridge at this location. I'm fortunate enough to say I have multiple fridges. It's ridiculous for me to say that, in multiple locations that I stay at. The fridge that I have here, this is pretty much what I'll eat over the course of the week while I'm working, and while I'm at this house, I'll be watching TV. I forgot what was in the picture. There should be some eggs. There's going to be some nut butters in there. I think Celsius will be in there. Celsius, I like the caffeine. I like the biotin content in Celsius, actually, is what I like. Not sponsored by anyone, obviously. I've got smoked salmon in there. I'm throttling back on the smoked salmon once every other day because the salt intake is a bit much, but it's delicious. I put it in my eggs because I'm Jewish. I mean, what do you want? And then there's some Voss sparkling waters. There's going to be, I think, a hummus. Dude, I forget what's in there. But that's just an example of the kinds of things that, what am I forgetting? Almond milk. I don't do dairy. I don't do dairy because it's too calorically dense. I love the taste of cheese, pizza, lasagna, all that stuff. Holy shit, guys. If you want to see the stuff that I used to eat, that I can still eat, just to know that I'm not like a prude when it comes to foods, go ahead and have a look at the 4K Foods ASMR site that I made, that I spent a year doing, where I pretty much recorded every fucking thing that I ate. Alright, in high def 4K. It's very niche, very fetishy, so brace yourself if you haven't seen it before. It's very loud. It's like I was trying to win the loudness war or something when I was editing these things, so I apologize if the sound and even the hyper close-up views are not to your liking. Like I said, pretty niche, but enjoy, and I will see you guys in the comments. Have a good night. I'll make more videos soon because I'm wrapping that project I was working on, and I'm confident with where it's at. I'm very happy. Everything is good. That's it. We're good here.